Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and this video is brought to you by the online BBallBreakdown membership. Click the first link in the description below to learn more and join.
Good.
The Toronto Raptors overcame a 2-0 deficit in the Eastern Conference Finals with some timely adjustments by Coach Nick Nurse. While putting Kawhi on Giannis was the most notable change, it was a newfound lineup that had barely played together during the regular season that proved to be the turning point, enabling the Raptors to win 4 straight and put them in a position to maybe, just maybe, beat the Golden State Warriors. The traditional starting lineup featuring Kyle Lowry, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, and Marc Gasol was a disaster against the Bucks. And mercifully, Coach Nurse scaled its minutes way down as each game went by, primarily by cutting Danny Green's minutes. He had one job: make open threes, and Green could only muster 17.4% from behind the arc. As you can see, this lineup was getting blown out each time it took the floor against the Bucks, and by Game 3, it was time to make a change. That's when Nurse replaced Green with Fred VanVleet. Credit the coach for throwing it out there, considering they had only played together for 10 minutes and 19 possessions during the regular season, but check their net rating anyway. In the conference finals, their net rating continued to be a huge positive, as VanVleet's hot shooting provided a perfect complement to Kawhi's ball dominance and opened up shots for everyone else. Now, congratulations to VanVleet on the birth of his second child, and much has been made about how he shot better after this. But to my eyes, he simply added more arc to his shot, and it went into the tune of 57% on almost 5 attempts per game. While you might think he can't sustain this kind of shooting, just look at the quality of shots he got all around, and it seems reasonable that a pro who's a good shooter would make a high percentage of these kinds of open, in-rhythm shots. The high post split is something they like to run with his 5. And Kawhi has the option of curling tight around Lowry or receive the handoff from Siakam. Watch Gasol setting the flare screen and Kawhi finds him open for another triple to break the tie. While the initial action in the high post split wasn't yielding a good attack, eventually they get a handoff to Lowry, who patiently waits for the pick and roll. Finds Siakam the opening, and they get the nice floater to drop. There are times with this lineup that they'll let Siakam initiate the offense, and if he feels like he has a mismatch, he can isolate right away, where he goes to one of his favorite moves, the spin move into floater. And they'll let Lowry attack when he feels he has an advantage, like here. He's got the taller Middleton on him, so an explosive crossover gets him an opening, and he's no stranger to hitting tough shots around and over the big man help. The thing Steph Curry needs to watch out for is Lowry's ability to draw fouls. He'll get half a step and then make sure to initiate contact and force the refs to call it. And foul trouble is a real Achilles heel for the Warriors. I love this action. Putting Kawhi on the weak side draws the help defense's attention, and this gorgeous pinch post action gets Lowry a catch at full speed, with Mirotic never being able to catch up. But what this lineup does is unleash Kawhi Leonard onto his unsuspecting defenders. In transition, if he has an advantage on his man like Mirotic, he's free to isolate on him all day long for his famous mid-range game. The Raptors run tons of pick and rolls with this lineup for Kawhi, and watch how they use Siakam to ball screen and let Marc Gasol spot up on the weak side. The roll by Siakam occupies Gasol's man, the ball skips to the corner, and his shot is up before the defense can even react. Same pick and roll pairing, but they put Gasol above the break, inviting Giannis to help on the roll man. Kawhi has shown he has the vision to find three-point shooters. And the only question is if the Warriors defense will be better at recovering to the three-point line on Gasol. The Spain pick and roll is a vital weapon for them, and here's an example where Kawhi is the ball handler. Siakam sets the ball screen, and Lowry back screens Siakam's man. You can see how this immediately opens up a 3 for Lowry, and if not for Giannis' length, this is a spectacular dunk. But because it forced the rotation, it leaves Siakam all by himself for the easy putback. What I like about Kawhi's game is his willingness to play out of the offense like a role player. On the good ball movement, he spots up on the right wing, then attacks middle and forces them to put him on the free throw line. Here's another Spain pick and roll where Kawhi snakes the dribble and attacks Lopez. Great kick out to the corner, and now the offense has the defense completely scrambling. Kawhi gets right back to the corner where there's open space, and not the best pass from Lowry, but goes to show you how wide open he really was. And here's an even better example as this lineup runs horns with Lowry up top, and it flows into pistol action for VanVleet turning the corner on the right side. VanVleet hands off to Kawhi, which allows him to get right into the lane for the nifty floater over Brook Lopez. Another key to the offense the last 4 games was Kawhi's offensive rebounding. It made a huge jump compared to the first 2 games and his normal output during the regular season. And in a 7-game series, every extra possession you can generate for your team is crucial. So the Warriors had better be prepared for this and know where he is whenever the shot goes up. Whether they're playing in Toronto or in Oakland, both teams need to be prepared for everything. And so do you if you want to get tickets to see these teams compete in the finals. And there's no better way to find the best values on the internet than using SeatGeek. Not only do they search across the entire web, they grade the price to let you know if you're getting a good deal, deliver the tickets right to your phone, and each purchase is fully guaranteed, just like an open Fred VanVleet 3-point shot. Best of all, save $20 off your first purchase by using my code BBall. When you think of breakdowns, think of Coach Nick. And when you think of tickets, think SeatGeek. I also felt that this lineup, while small in the backcourt, could defend very well. With Kawhi as an elite defender and Siakam incredibly long and athletic, plus the smarts of Gasol, they can be scrappy and determined as well as keep you in front and contest shots. Even though the Bucks find Giannis with deep position, they swarm him, and Siakam's job is to close out to the first pass. VanVleet then gets the second pass. Perfect execution to get the contest and force the miss. VanVleet will most likely guard Curry deep in the fourth, and while I love his instincts to be a rover and ready to jump into driving lanes, he simply couldn't get away with this on Curry. That said, the Raptors' defensive rotations were really on point when they needed them in this series. On the double team, VanVleet rotates to the top, Lowry bumps the cutter, then closes out to the wing. Kawhi gets to the corner and stays with him. Notice VanVleet again roving to stop the penetration completely. One more rotation by Gasol to close out and take away the corner shot leads to VanVleet cutting in front, and then Kawhi as the last line of defense. Really, really impressive. Gasol seemed to find more energy on defense as the series wore on, and they're going to need this and more against the Warriors. The Raptors might try to trap the pick and roll like they do here, but Middleton and Ilyasova are a far cry from Steph and Draymond. And another trap of the ball handler forces it to Lopez at the elbow, where Gasol hustles back for the steal, but Draymond ain't gonna stand there for 2 seconds and let this happen. The Bucks went small ball versus this lineup, and it forced Gasol to chase his shooter around the screen and contest. He did nicely despite his shoulder to the face, and expect Steve Kerr to run similar lineups that try to force Gasol to the bench. Gasol isn't fleet of foot by any stretch, but he's smart enough to use his body and positioning to contain, and it caused Giannis a little trouble when they try to attack him. And there's no question the Warriors will do this over and over. Notice how Gasol can afford to back up and use his reach to bother the gather. But again, Giannis' shooting from beyond 6 feet makes this easier than anything he'll deal with from the Warriors' guards. While the Bucks struggled to score in the half-court all series long, their matchup with the Raptors starting 5 went great for them. It was the mix of length and shooting that this lineup with VanVleet offered that caused a lot of problems, and it became the backstop for Nick Nurse, closing the last 2 games with them together. But I predict they'll split the first 4 games. The winner of Game 5 most likely wins the whole thing, and we can't overlook that game will be in the Great White North. Sports fans, Coach Nick again, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then I've got a new online basketball membership where I share with you the best of what NBA teams are doing to help you be more successful on the court. Click the first link in the description or the pinned comment below to learn more. And don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know how you feel about today's video. Check your settings to make sure you get notified each time we drop a new one. After all, at BBallBreakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?